Brian was an international student from Nairobi, Kenya. I don't know exactly how old he was when we met, but it had taken him 5 years to complete his 3-year commerce degree. We met 7 weeks before he was to leave India, and in that brief spell, I learnt about race, culture, and myself in a way that I could have never anticipated. What does it take to date a black man in Delhi? The thickest skin you can grow. 2 days into our relationship, a Punjabi man came close to me at the same Mehrauli nightclub and loudly said, "Why are you with him, Kudi? Uska maal kitna kala hoga? His package must be so black." I was ready to retort, but Brian looked at me and said, "Don't respond. He's jealous because I am with a girl he wants to be with." I blushed and he grinned, and we forgot that flash of ugliness. But later that night, in the auto ride back to my apartment, Brian quietly said, "That's the first word all African students learn when they come to India. Kala. Black. It hurts till we learn to ignore it." What's the difference between an expatriate and an immigrant? Race. What do we call the persecution of a people because of the color of their skin? Racism. We are people of color too. So where did we learn it? At home, in the playground, our textbooks, in casual conversations, in film and advertising, everywhere. Racism is insidious, and that summer I would only discover how much of it is learnt behavior. The K word would assail us everywhere we went, whether as a couple or in a group with other students from African countries. We stuck to neighborhoods we knew, nightclubs and restaurants that welcomed a predominantly African clientele during the week, and Brian's friends' homes. On the street with my new Kenyan and Nigerian friends, I watched other people watch them with uncertainty and sometimes unmasked disgust. As a student, I rarely took autos. I usually travelled by bus. But when I was with Brian, taking the bus together didn't seem like a feasible option. Being boxed in with so many prying eyes was too much for both of us. An auto afforded us some privacy, but only when we could get one. Drivers would not slow down for us, and when they did, they'd refuse. They were never going in our direction. It would be a long wait till we found one and headed to Vasant Vihar in South Delhi, where Brian and his friends stayed. It was far from DU's South Campus too, and they lived in dingy, poorly ventilated flats, where the entrance to the building was almost always at the back. We usually went to his friend's house. I never once saw where Brian lived. He told me he was sure to be evicted if he brought an Indian girl home. Only 2 friends from college knew that I was dating him. The mutual friend who dropped us home was somebody we'd both recently met, and was the only other Indian in the group. I didn't speak of Brian to anybody else, because I'd met him a day after I had ended a 3-year-long relationship. Brian was my rebound, and he knew it. There's nothing I can do about that. I've been in India for 5 years, and I only just met you when I'm leaving. I'll take what I can get," he had said a few days after we first met. I liked that about him. He was practical, but not unfeeling. Chilled out, but would show concern when necessary. And funny without calling attention to himself. If my friends were surprised to know I was dating a Kenyan student, so were his.